Market and Lamar, Market and Lamar. Assist officer, shots fired. Okay, code 3, stay off the radio, officer down. Shots fired, officer down, it's an assist officer.
107, show me route. 6885. I don't see anybody down over here. Lamar.
Let me get a better location.
Out here, we got a guy with a long rifle, we don't know where the hell he's at. Garage. Building! Squad guy, slow down! He's in the damn building right there! I don't know where he's at, he's in that building right here, shots from that building! 69, we have got to get DFD down here now. He is one sick right now. 169, get him here.
They're on the way.
But I'm going to channel an old preacher that I admire tremendously, Jeremiah Wright. Yeah. And I'm going to say, God damn white America. God damn white America. White America is a lie.
When July the 7th happened, you have a nation that is confronted with a Baptist minister, a white Baptist minister, screaming out, "Goddamn white America," in a way that people just couldn't understand that. And I think a lot of people in the activist community couldn't understand that.
And there's been this whole desire to bring, white and black people together for conversation. I mean, there's been a lot of positive things going on, but all you see is the screaming in the streets, which makes, poor white people go, "Oh shit, man, this thing, golly, they gonna come get all my shit." It just created room for a conversation.
Of course, what I got immediately was, how dare this white guy be the guy that's getting all this attention when this is just happening? And, so there was a lot of criticism happening because of that. And I always have thought to myself, well, that's because none of y'all could have said this. I mean, nobody else could have said that and it had that kind of effect. And I was very aware of that at the time. I mean, I was a good 40, 50 feet from these officers. I mean, I saw the first wave of officers go down. People can talk about, fuck the police, we hate the police, all they want to. But in that moment, there was an officer next to me, Sergeant Jeff Hood, an older black officer who has been with the department. He's endured it all. And he was right next to me when the shots rang out. And his ass jumped right in front of me. He was prepared to give his life for me. This activist who, probably not a couple of days prior, was screaming "fuck the police." And that begins to make you think. I mean, I'm very willing, even right now, to say I hate the police. But at the same time, I think that I was brought to this moment of humanity where this person quite possibly could have saved my life, was willing to die for me. And it made me think a lot about the way we think about power and how, when we get power, what are we trying to accomplish with that power? Are we trying to hold it in and be who we think we need to be, or are we holding it out and helping people be who they can be and live the life that they can live? What was happening was I was trying to be all things to all people. And I think white activists, and certainly for that matter, a lot of black activists too, there's this temptation to do that because everybody wants the applause. Nobody wants the boo. Nobody wants to get the ass yanked off a stage. And for that matter, if you're the only white person there, nobody wants to get the ass kicked. I was brought to this place with God, very similar to Dr. King's kitchen conversion, of God saying, are you going to rely on me? Or are you going to rely on all of this language and all this other stuff that you've learned? Anybody can get up there with a bullhorn and say the right things. Anybody can, get everybody pumped up and get excited. But it takes something different to be willing to sit down with somebody in front of you that is portraying a gender that is very confusing to you, and yet, and for that matter, portraying race, sexuality, all of these identities in ways that are confusing, and yet still be clear that this is someone made in the image of God and someone that has tremendous value. And so I have always said that in those spaces, that is where our salvation lies. There is something very scary about, white activists, black activists, all types of identity activists who are willing to say things that could put them in tremendous danger. And I have always argued that that activism is about putting yourself in danger. Like John Lewis said, getting into good trouble. Ultimately, a lot of these folks came after me in a lot of ways, threatening. It went from like the white racists threatening me to this kind of black nationalist crowd threatening me and saying they want to kill me and all this kind of stuff. Man, if everybody who said they're going to kill me had actually killed me, I'd have died a lot of times by now.
Hi, my name is Tyne Dickson. I am a junior at SMU. I major in theater and human rights with a minor in public policy and international affairs as a Tower Scholar. I'm originally from Houston, Texas, but through auditioning with theater and getting a lot of scholarships through that, and SMU Black faculty just reaching out and being so hospitable, I decided to go to SMU. I'm an RA, I'm a Tower Scholar, like I said before. I also run BLM at SMU. As a student here, the goals of BLM at SMU are to help students participate in the BLM movement. Because we do live in a bubble if you go to a college, but there are things happening outside that are important. So that's number one. And number two is to uplift the Black voices and the Black people that are here. So that's kind of where me being a student and seeing the students of color be suppressed is where I am grateful to step in and try to help that. If you are a student of color here, it's going to be difficult. Not only is it going to be difficult, but you're going to feel, and I hate to say, a little bit of a predator vibe, but you're going to feel purposely manipulated or looked over, and what I mean is this can be a dangerous environment. That's what I mean to say. If you even look at the hashtag Black at SMU on Twitter, you're going to see direct experiences of like blatant, overt racism on this campus. And then you, of course, have microaggressions and minute things. We tried to make sure that our chants were actionable. Well, of course, we chanted Black Lives Matter. You know, we chanted "We are not thugs." So if you remember Donald Trump, our President Trump, called us thugs about 2 months ago. We chanted Black Women Matter. We chanted more Black faculty, respect the Black athletes. White silence is violence. We chanted that. We chanted hey hey ho ho, the racist cops got to go. We were trying to be so intentional and so specific. Our allies on this campus have done a great job of it's as simple as reposting. It's as simple as reposting sometimes. And they've done a great job of, I know over the summer our allies were educating themselves, and even if it was just the instant infographics, I'm not mad about it, you know? And they've done a great job of showing up. And I think it's the consistency for me, because we did have a march and we had 500 plus people, and it was amazing and it was transformative. But the people who showed up after that, to Breonna Taylor, to our BLM series, to go watch Sonya and Taylor, like, those are the allies that are really going to make an impact and a difference. Since the issues are directly affecting them, consistency can be difficult. I think they recognize the importance of their allyship, and they recognize that, like, something much bigger than us is happening right now, and they want to be a part of that. We had some combatants, but not to a huge level. Marching in the neighborhood, people started coming out of their homes, video recording, saying things like, you know, quietly, but just enough that people could hear them. Our allies, our allies were up in arms during that march, honey. I was living. Because we did have a lot of people drive by and storm at us and throw up flip signs or flip us off, and we even had some people in truck shirts march along with us or run along with us trying to instigate things. And our allies were upset because, you know, I think for African Americans, we're like, we can't react, because if we react, it may end up dangerous to us. But our allies came out the woodworks. There has been an outpouring of support on this campus from not only students but faculty. A lot of my peers that are not Black or not even people of color have been just so supportive and donating and showing up and asking to help. It's been really wonderful to see that amidst the intimidation, the scare, and the fear. I will say that it's been a clear divide, it makes me sad, because there's the people that just outright love and support us, and then the people who either ignore us or maybe not support us. I do see a shift in student culture, and I'm not going to change this in a day, so it's not what we want, it's not our goal yet, but I do see a shift in students who do support being willing to support outright, openly, and challenge others. When I was a freshman here, Black girls, when I went to, our org meetings, we were scared to wear Black Lives Matter shirts because we knew it was going to be, challenged. People were going to have something to say, the stares. It was awful to wear a Black Lives Matter shirt. And then now to see allies and Black students line up and outright take a Black Lives Matter shirt and wear it whenever they want to, that's big. So there's shifts happening for sure.
But one thing that's different about today that did not exist during that period was the role of the internet. I mean, one of the things that has been so moving to me, it wasn't just the support for Black Lives Matter in the U.S. and at U.S. sporting events, but I found really inspiring that across Europe, for example, all of the major soccer events that I watched and had Black Lives Matter across banners or across electronic signs, there was a broader global recognition of the importance, and it has pulled most people together.
This whole space of intersectionality, we keep on trying to stay away from it or push it away, but the truth is that is the only space through which change will come.
That's what the BLM movement is about. It's not just, it is Black Lives Matter and Black Power, but it is also, we're acknowledging the humanity of everyone. So as a BLM fighter, I'm an ally to the LGBTQ community, to the immigration community.
There will be no liberation for Black America without white people. And on a very basic, now people, they cringe when they hear that. That's a very uncomfortable thing to say at this moment in the movement. But the truth is, in order to create political change, there has to be a beloved community, a diverse coalition of people who are willing to bring about that change. I'm skeptical of this moment. I hope that a lot of people who are responding in urgency will be there for the long haul, and I guess we can only pray about that. But I do know from history that the accomplishments of 64 and 65 were almost drowned out by the identity-based thinking of 69, 70, 71. And so, again, the question becomes, who do we want to be? If we want to be activists or advocates for change for the rest of our lives, then we can keep on putting stuff forward that people don't understand and people can't engage. But if we want to create the beloved community that we speak of, then we have to find a way to speak clearly and speak to each other.